So some things never change. We hear every day of the week from the government when these things come out. Oh, lessons will be loaned, but really, are they loaned? So allegedly, this was the fellow in the Office of Public Works, this head of the Office of Public Works, and straight away when you hear the Office of Public Works in Ireland, you know there's up and up. But yeah, we remember all the bicycle shed. This cost 350,000, by the way. Just to say, if you don't believe me, it actually is true that it actually spent 300,000 euro on the bicycle shed, and that, lo and behold, there it is. It's not gold, just to say, if you haven't noticed. But yeah, so basically he's one in the way now, the CEO of the Office of Public Works. And there's no doubt about it that he signed off on it. Like, he put the stamp on it and say, yeah, this is fine, 350,000 euro for a bicycle shed. Yeah, I agree with that. And you think the state would have sacked him as soon as that came out, that this was a huge waste of money. And definitely he should have been looked into, probably, because it was an outrageous amount of money to spend on the bicycle shed. But yeah, so basically he's one in the way now, because there's probably another big scandal coming out that they spent €500 billion on something. Something stupid, because let's be fair, it's the government. So there's not something else coming down the road, and he's trying to run away from it, basically. So yeah, they give him €200,000 into hand. Goodbye. You know, his nice payment of €200,000. Isn't it lovely? And again, this is the thing. You know, there's people that retire from their jobs and they get fuck all. They get the basic state pension, and they'd be lucky to get anything. You know, and this fellow, probably cost the state a fortune in projects like this. And here you go. €200,000. Where's the accountability? Where's the lessons learned? Because basically nobody ever went to prison for this. Like, this is misuse of public funds. This is misconduct in public office too, that this was spent. And now we go to the next year, because of course it's Ireland. It always goes on like this. So this is the pretty much the former head of the government PO unit, basically the government basically is the propaganda machine. But basically now he's given a big job. Again, this is conflict of interest, because he was basically in the former government too. As a PO chief, pretty much, it's given a €72,000 contract. Now for Tusla, now as you know, Tusla, it's some other crowd too, and they should be probably shut down, to be totally honest, because there's definitely some sus stuff going on in Tusla. There's children literally going missing and stuff. And of course, Number 40 is the head of Tusla now, like the minister over Tusla, and of course, God help us all. But yeah, nothing's ever done about it, basically. There's children gone missing, we don't know where they are. And Tusla has come out today and said too that they put children unregulated, like basically the people not even gathered vetted, to be generally honest with you. So they basically just throw them into places, and they don't check people's back, or they don't check if the areas, the building that they're in is safe. They don't do anything like that, they just fuck them in. And to give 36 million or something like that to them. Yeah, that's all for you. Lovely stuff. Great country. But yeah, lessons will be learned. That's what we said here after all this. Lessons will be learned. But I think people are just sick and fucking tired of hearing that lessons will be learned. People want action. People want responsibility. And the only way you do that is by action. If, say, this fellow went to prison for a few years, or he got his whole pension taken off him, or his €200,000 taken back off him, along with interest, of course, and taxes, etc. And of course, the money for the bicycle shed would take that off him too. But again, there's nothing going to be done about it. That's what I'm saying. There was no accountability. It's the same with the 14 steps in the Dublin Park. There was never any accountability for it. It's the same really with everything in this country. There's never any accountability. And they always hear from the government, Micheál Martin and Simon Harris, lessons will be learned, and this will be learned, and that will be learned. But again, at the end of the day, fuck all is learned, because it happens again the next day, pretty much. And then the cycle repeats, basically. So yeah, it's all a load of bollocks, if you ask me. It's just a load of bollocks, and it's a disgrace for country. It really, really is, because that money, that 200,000, for example, could go to good use to help people. A few homeless people could help them, give them a meal for the next 3 years, 7 years, maybe. Could even give them a hotel room for them to stay out of the cold. It could help, say, for example, children with dyslexia or autism with their support, etc. It could help, say, for example, there's so many children waiting for scoliosis treatment. It wouldn't cover it all, but it'll go a bit of a way to help some child that needs the scoliosis treatment. But again, they're willing to fork out money on high-up civil servants. It's a rotten country, really, really is, to be generally honest with you. And we have to fight everything. I say this to the only Irish people, because again, this is our money. The people's money belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to the politicians. It's up to us to fight for it, because again, sitting here and saying, oh well, sure, look, lessons will be learned. The only way by doing it is speaking up and shouting about it and kicking up a whole huff about it, because that's the only way to achieve stuff. And of course, anytime you see your local TDs, your local councillor, pull up your phone, tell them, explain this to me. I put them on the spot and demand answers. Because that's the only way you get anything, and put the fear of God into them. Because again, this is the thing, they're not fearing, they don't fear anybody because they're unaccountable to no one. And that's the thing, but especially with these high up civil servants, I generally think they have more power than the politicians in a lot of cases. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more and bye.